Hey fellow mamas, welcome to the Military Mamas podcast.
We're your hosts, Allison and Tara.
We are both moms who celebrate and support women who balance the demands of military service with the joys and challenges of motherhood.
This is a space for military moms to connect, share tips and stories, and inspire each other. Now let's get started with today's episode.
Hey, so we were just talking, and there's a lot of things that change when you find out that you're going to become a mom, and when you become a mom, and especially when you're in the military community, whether it's affecting your relationship or your priorities or just things with work, so much is changing. And so we just wanted to talk about our experience with that today, because for me, when I was going through a lot of changes, I felt super alone and I felt super weird, like, why is everything making me so emotional, or why do I hate everybody now? like stuff like that. Like, we just wanted to talk about it because I think it really is normal. Like, overall, it's such a big transition period, whether it's your first kid or 3 kids. Like, it's a big change, and in the military, like, it's even more hectic. So I guess the first thing we could talk about, since we were in the military, when we're at work, like, before having babies, like, I was the person who always wanted to deploy. I always wanted to go TD.
Like the hard charger, like,
yeah, I didn't want to be in garrison. I didn't want to be there. Like, I want to go to Korea, I want to go to Japan, I want to go there. And then, especially when you PCS to like a new duty station, your AO changes. So now I can go to Poland, I can go to Italy, I can do all these things. And so in the Marine Corps, to become marked as like a good Marine, you got to do those things. You got to put in the hours. You got to be that person who's like, oh, I'll do this. Like, once you kind of associate yourself with, oh, I kind of don't want to deploy right now, or I don't want to do this, whatever the reasoning, you kind of start putting labels on yourself. And so,
well, and it's like kids, it's like when you think about a family, it's like something that holds you back. So you see when you didn't, before I had kids, I didn't see other people, like the people who didn't have kids that were single or whatever, they were the ones going out and getting it. And like, that's what I wanted to do.
Yeah, you don't notice that.
Yeah. And then once you have a kid, you're like, I have so many constraints and like requirements that I have to do and be here for.
Yeah.
I don't have the flexibility to go anywhere.
Seriously.
Like, it doesn't seem fun at that point. You know?
And I think you really only gain that perspective when you're in those shoes. Like, I used to judge the people. Like, as a Lance Corporal with no responsibilities in the bricks, I'm like, you don't want to go to this deployment? Like, we're about to go to Korea. Like, you don't have your Korea ribbon. You've never been there. This is a really cool mission. You don't want to go? And they're like, oh, no, I've got some family things, whatever. I'm like, loser. Like, you join the military for a reason. Like, you know, like, you hear all those things.
Yeah.
And then once I found myself in those shoes, it was like, no, I don't want to go, because especially as a mom, if you're like, you're breastfeeding, it's like, I want to be here because I'm breastfeeding. Like, you know, the baby really needs, up until the first few like years of like 3 and under or whatever, like, they really need their mom. And so I feel like it's especially different because it's like, I don't want to go anywhere because I need to take care of this thing needs me. And so
my thing is like, I don't want to go anywhere anymore. Like, I want to be there for my baby. Like, that's the priorities shift, the priorities change.
Yeah.
It's like not talked about a lot. You just, hey, you decided to be in the Marine Corps. Like, the Marine Corps didn't issue you a family. Like, you're going to be, you're going to be at work,
hear that all the
like,
time. All the time.
And it just shifts, like,
it really does. And especially like I joined around 18, so it was like my first real job, my first real thing, and I loved it. I grew so attached to it. And I love traveling too, because you get like per diem, you go to new places, like, you know, stack up cool ribbons, experiences, whatever. Like, those are the best time, especially on deployments, when you've got like, you work more but you get more time for yourself because you have nothing else to do. You can go to the gym. You know, your diet's on point. Like, I love that type of stuff. And so
because your time is your time, 100% your time. Like, you're governing yourself, and that's it.
Yeah, exactly.
Outside of the requirements of whatever your job you're doing.
Right. Yeah, it's
crazy when you are at home. Like, you don't govern shit. Like, they govern you. They determine what you're doing at what time. You know, and it's just not. It's not the same. And then when you're also in the Marine Corps, like, you had no family, now you have a baby that you're taking care of, and then you're going to work, and the constraints of you're not the same person. You change. Your priorities are different. Like, the things that you're going to devote time to are different. You know,
even more than one schedule too. Like, oh, we have PT now at 5:30 instead of 6:30. Okay, cool, whatever. I'll just do this. Like, instead of just one person to get ready and do everything, now it's 2 when you get married. Okay, cool. Well, he's an adult. Like, I can leave earlier. It won't affect anything. He can just take care of the dog this morning. But now you have a baby that's on a schedule and you're like, oh, now I have to leave earlier. Well, my baby doesn't normally feed around that time, but now I have to wake up my baby because I have to feed that baby because I'm not going to be able to like do it. Like it affects so many more people when it's not just you anymore.
Yeah.
And so,
and like people are like, oh, well, just pump, and the other person can feed the baby with the bottle, and it's like, well, so you see, then I have to pump, and that's a whole ass another process that you're okay. I'm pumping. I got to clean the parts. I got to bag them extra milk, like whatever. So I'm waking up like 3 hours. No, fuck you. I'm not doing that. Like I'll feed the baby from a boob, and
honestly,
like, that's what we're gonna do.
I love it. I saw this thing because I'm like in a Crunchy Moms page, and they was talking about like it was like a meme, and it was like everybody says people who want to breastfeed are just weird, like because I want to breastfeed as long as I can. We're going on 7 months strong, and like that's so crazy. Just like do bottles so that way other people can feed and blah blah blah. And then like it was like a comment, which is what made it a meme. It's like people understand like breastfeeding exclusively is like the lazy way out because I don't pump anymore, so I don't have to wash any parts. I don't have to do bottles. It's just like it's a perfect
I bring these babies with me everywhere I go.
Yeah, we're locked and loaded. I've got everything.
We're open 24/7.
It's so easy.
You need me, you got me.
Exactly. Like imagine like.
And I breastfeed in public. Danny gets like a little. He's like, we were in the grocery store the other day in Harris Teeter, and I just whipped out a tit. I was like, I don't care. It doesn't bother me. Like I grew up around the world. His family's from Europe. Like it's very easy to do, right? Like I'm not. It's not a sexual thing. Like you just feed my baby. Yeah. And I've had
some people make it sexual, but
that's weird.
Some I think people do, but
like I think it's more so like people who don't have kids are like, ooh, why are they out in public? Why is she showing her? But I'm not okay. Let's not be weird. Like I'm not like whipping around my tits in there. It's
right.
But no, I had them in the carrier, and I just have my tops that are like I unbutton it, and and I'm just walking around, and I had like 3 women go, oh my god, I miss breastfeeding.
Yeah.
Or they're like, I saw a little girl walking by, and she said, Mommy, what's she doing? She's like, she's feeding her baby, and I was just like, it was almost like a confirmation of,
oh yeah,
good for you. You know what?
It really is.
Good for you.
Yeah.
You know, and I just remember Danny being like, are you gonna? Like, you think you're gonna cover up? And I was like, say something else to me.
Yeah.
No, I'm not gonna.
Right,
like,
right.
Because
do you hide your face when you eat at all?
Yeah. Are you gonna put muzzle? No, get out of here.
Yeah, I think some people sexualize it. I don't think it is. Like these weren't meant for whatever. Like they're meant to feed someone. You don't see a cow udder and like, you're like, cover the cow's udder. Yeah. It's like because we have just sexualized it, but at the end of the day, you're feeding a human. If you're, out there, no kid, and you're just nips out, like that might be a separate. That's a separate thing. But people try to compare breastfeeding to like walking around on a nude beach, and it's like no. These are 2 separate things. I'm sustaining a life right now.
I was wearing more clothes than half of the women that were in Harris Teeter shopping on a Sunday, like after church. Like we're good. I'm not. It's weird. I think it's other people make it weird. Like I will breastfeed for as long.
Yeah.
For as long as I can, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
no, I'm
and you said
way.
7 months. Like I think, what is it? Or not the CDC, whoever it is, recommends like up to 2 years is beneficial for babies when you breastfeed. So I'm like, I don't care. I'll whip out, be at the park. I don't care.
Right.
Now I don't breastfeed Mac anymore, but
I think I'm gonna stop around 1 year just because baby number 2 is supposed to be born around March, and so I want to kind of start weaning her off of it, just so that way it's like it's not your boobs and not yours anymore. You share with your little brother. So, so we're implementing that hard stop time, just because we're gonna have our babies close. But that last baby, like 17, no kidding.
Come here.
From a grown
Mom, I got soccer practice.
Yeah. But I mean, breastfeeding
I think that's
good.
a little much.
Yeah, I do too. And now she's got 2 like little teeth in the bottom poking through, and she's starting to like realize that they're there. And like the other day, she like was like nursing, but she does this thing. Sidetrack. She does this thing where like she'll be nursing, and then she like pulls my boob out, and she just looks at my boob and laughs. And she tries to touch it, and she's just like,
well, there's like some science behind like grabbing your boobs and playing with your nipples. Like there's some science behind why babies do that, and it's supposed to like help with your help with your milk production and stuff.
Really?
Like as you get older, so that your milk supply will continue going. Don't quote me, like I don't know the exact science, but I've read up on it. I think after I had Mac, when I was like, is my supply dropping? Like, what am I doing wrong? Whatever. But yeah, it's supposed to be like them playing with your boobs and like grabbing your nipples. It's supposed to like help stimulate letdowns and like help
Wow.
with milk production. Yeah,
That's crazy.
there's
Well,
science behind everything.
I let her touch it because it's hilarious. But I hold her other because she doesn't do it delicately. She
No,
likes to
they-
grab
yeah.
it
And they
like,
got nails and
squeeze it.
shit.
Yeah, and I'm like, I don't care. I don't care if this is helping my milk production. Like, so I say just a finger, and she literally goes like this now, and she like touches it, and she's like, it's so funny, and it makes me laugh. So we just have a good old time. But I love
We
the
just have a
stage
good
that we're
old time.
at.
See, I like that about breastfeeding. Like breastfeeding is that
it's
bond,
so bond.
you know?
It's so like bonding. Yeah, I do love that. But not the teeth. Like the teeth, it makes me worry now because I'm like, ooh. And they're not even up all the way. Like they're like halfway up.
Yeah.
And so I'm like I
I
know
think
they.
she's gonna bite. Has she already bit you?
She's like kind of like, oh, I have these things, and so like sometimes like her tongue gets out of the way and it kind of brushes up against it. I'm like, whoa, let's slow down. So it makes me
those
really
things off.
nervous.
Need those.
Yeah, it makes me really nervous when she has more teeth and all that. So I think I'm okay with implementing that 1 year hard stop, especially just because there's multiple babies, but also because it's like you're gonna have a lot of teeth. And so at that point, I think like the milk in the freezer, so that way she's still
Yeah.
getting milk. We can do like milk in a sippy cup for nighttime or morning or whatever. So that way she's still getting milk, but no teeth, I think. Which I was gonna breastfeed forever, but it's different when them teeth come along, and then you have another baby that you're trying to feed, and I was thinking about that too. Is like my milk hasn't gone away yet.
Well, that's what happened to me. I got pregnant with Nash, and my milk supply like started to drop on its own because I think it was like the 18 month mark when I got pregnant, and
Yeah.
so I was still feeding Mac, but he was getting to the point where he was like too distracted to,
Yeah.
he wasn't interested in being on the boob anymore.
Right.
But he had teeth. He wasn't. I think he's only bit me like once or twice.
Yeah, I think they
But-
learn, you know.
But yeah, it's not like that's not pleasant, but they figured it out. Like, I don't know, he wasn't like a biter like that. Thank
good.
God.
Yeah, I've heard that they kind of figured out, and they use their tongue to nurse anyway. They don't really use their teeth and like their jaw really a whole lot. But
It's the curiosity though. It's the curiosity.
and when they hurt too, they want like that relief and like, oh, mom gives me comfort, like nursing gives me comfort. Let me just bite whatever. And it's like
it does make you want to punch a baby though. Like it does make you instantly like when it happens, you're like, oh
yeah. My hand came up to like hit her like on the butt, and I was like, ooh. It's like, and I always say like, girl, you better be careful.
Yeah.
Because like she might not know what I'm saying, but I think she recognizes like I'm tensing up in the tone. Like,
Yeah.
whatever I'm about to do, mom does not like that.
Yeah,
Let me
no
not
bueno.
do that. Yeah. But I was talking to my midwife yesterday actually, and she was just saying sometimes like when you're nursing and like you're pregnant, like it could make the baby grow faster, it could make you go into labor sooner, stuff like that. So we just
Yeah.
like to keep an eye on that. But she said also that some people like their milk supply never goes. And so I was like, oh well, like what happens like when like you get colostrum, and like babies first few days when their stomach's really small, like they need colostrum, like am I gonna stop making milk to make some colostrum? And so she's like, oh, you might get colostrum mixed in with milk, you might do whatever. And so because like babies need the colostrum to like line their stomach before the milk
it's
comes
like a
in.
different type. It's like a different consistency. It's a different
And a lot of
different stuff in it.
nutrients and stuff like that. And so I was just nervous about that. And so yeah, the midwife was like super helpful, but I mean those are real things.
Yeah.
You know. But anyway, what we were saying about like being like in work and like stuff like that. So my mentality was I was gonna do my 20. I was gonna commission, be a warrant
Yeah.
officer, and I knew I wanted kids. And so I was like, I'm just gonna have kids and do the work thing.
I'm
you
gonna
know?
be able to do it. It's gonna be fine. People
I've
do
seen
it all the
other
time.
people do it.
Yeah.
And then the moment I found out I was pregnant, I was like, no. Because I mean, I had a lot of childhood trauma, and so I wanted to overcorrect that and give my kids everything. But I was going off of the quote unquote knowledge I had of like growing up, which I learned was like very slim. And so I started researching, and I talked with like my doula and like midwives and stuff, and I really learned like, wow, babies really need a lot from their mom the first
Yeah.
few years. And I wanted to be able to give my babies a lot and not just a little bit of me, but I was going to be distracted at the end of a work day and like stuff. And so, yeah, just the more research I did, I was just like, I just knew I had to get out. And so automatically, like, my priorities changed. The Marine Corps wasn't like my baby anymore. It was my baby. And so I wasn't the guy to volunteer for anything. You know, like, I was still PTing and still, like, you know, trying my ass off, but I wasn't like trying to kill myself, because at the end of the day, like, there is another baby in me, and I'm not going to be running more than a mile at a time. When I'm in my third trimester, I'm not running more, because I wasn't a big runner. So, like, if you're a runner, it's okay to run during a pregnancy, whatever, but I was more of a lifter. And so for someone who doesn't run over 3 miles, because I don't have to, I'm not going to go out and run 3 miles and put myself into early labor just to make the Marine Corps happy. And so I automatically felt that shift, and that just came with a lot of things. I think each unit, it depends on the unit and your leadership and, you know, the mission and overall your job even. Like,
well, and support, like, if you have family support, if you have like a close like community support,
right?
Everything, there's a lot that goes into it. So
yeah, I think I kind of had a bad experience, because I was that person who wanted to do everything, and then I switched from the person who didn't want to do anything. As far, like, I would do my job, but I didn't want to do the extracurriculars, which in the Marine Corps, that's really your job. Like, I didn't want to deploy, I didn't want to stay late. Like, I wanted that 8 to 4 perfect, you know, I wanted that consistency.
Yeah.
Right. And so I put that, you know, that target on my back, and I became the bad guy because of that. So I think I had a bad experience, like, with my leadership, but it's also, like I was saying, each unit's different. Like, you could be at a unit, have that same shift of priorities, but they support you, and they're like, yeah, I understand, like, let's make the most out of the time you have left, we'll help you on your way out, blah, 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 bada bing, bada boom, congratulations, you're about to be a mom. You know, all these great positive things, like, whatever, whether they agree with it or not. But for me, it was the opposite of,
or like, it's free 99 to just say nothing if you don't agree with it.
Yeah, just like,
you can just say nothing.
Right. And so I think for a lot of women, it's one or the other. Like, and honestly, what might influence this is how many women do you have in your chain of command. Like, for me, I had 0. And so, like, my direct, like, staff and CO, I mean, you weren't really my staff and CO, like, you were kind of like around, like, the same battalion, but like, I didn't really have you to go to. And so as far as, like,
well, and then I left.
And then you
went
moved
to a different unit. Yeah. So
right. And so I think that could have influenced, like, I didn't really have a lot of people who had been there before me, and so I didn't really have a lot of education on my part to advocate for myself or say, hey, I can still do these things, but I don't want to deploy.
Well, you advocate, but there are women who don't advocate for themselves and will just take it, which I don't want to say is a majority, but, like, the type, you know, what is it, type
like
A,
quiet.
like, very, like, you and I, we will advocate for ourselves, and we will ask the uncomfortable questions, and we will ask for clarity. But others, like a Lance Corporal, I mean, I had my first kid as a gunny, and I was like, no, like, why are we doing this? You know what I mean? Like, but I'm a gunny. I have, you know, I've been in the Marine Corps for a while. Like, I am outspoken, and usually the people that I'm talking to already know what I'm about or whatever, and I'm comfortable enough to ask those uncomfortable questions. But maybe a Lance Corporal's not.
Exactly.
And maybe a Lance Corporal has, like, only men that may or may not have kids, and not all are created equal. Like, they don't understand. There's a lot of there's a big difference between, like, having people in your leadership that has kids, that understand the struggle, or maybe that are dual military or whatever, but a majority of it is, like, hit or miss. Like, you might not have that. And
well, for, like, all of my leadership, they were all men, but what I thought was ironic was I wanted to get out so I could be a stay-at-home mom and do all these things, and there was a lot of, like, mocking that and, like, calling me weak and just, like, every other female and, like, all these things. But then it's like, oh, okay, but at the end of the day, like, oh, your wife's at home homeschooling and doing all these things, so that way she's providing
for your kids.
She's a stability.
But you're here talking shit on me because I want to do that. Like,
I get it. I'm a Marine at the end of the day, but I don't want to be a Marine anymore. Like, I'm going to be out to pursue these things, and so I always found it ironic, because a lot, like, if you really look at a lot of the men who have super successful careers and stay in for 50 years, like, a lot of them don't have kids, or they have a wife or a spouse who was at stability and did everything. I'm not not saying all, I'm just saying a lot of them, that happens to be the common
good support
denominator.
system. That is your support system. And that's what works for your family. And
exactly.
You have to be like, don't put the fucking gunny hat on again, but as somebody in a leadership position, you have to be able to see all scenarios and all situations and be able to help people to employ them to the best that they can be employed. Because at the end of the day, I need you to do a job and I want you to do it to the best of your ability. Yeah. How can I set you up the best to be able to do that? What can I assist you with?
Right.
But to be honest, I think becoming a mom, now that I have a toddler, it's made me a better Marine, even though like the priorities shift and I still struggle with like your stories of getting out and like you're doing what it pulls me in that direction. Like I want that. I want to be a stay-at-home mom, but I also want a career in the Marine Corps and I want to be successful there and I want to stay in until retirement. Yeah. For my future, for my family's future.
Right.
But I always have that pull of like,
oh,
my EAS is this year. Like I could get out. Yeah. But it's just, I do think that becoming a mom has made me like more patient. It has made me open to different things of people's points of view instead of me being like a hammer. I'm able to be like, okay, well maybe they're looking at it this way, or maybe this is what works. Anybody ask them if their wife made it to Florida okay because she just drove 10 hours with 2 kids by herself yesterday? Did anybody check on them or whatever? So
makes you more personal, not like robot-y
and like but at the same time I also have a different side of the coin where I'm not available for the bullshit. Like you can lose my number. I am not going to be here. I'm not going to come in. Like, what do you need?
Right.
You're drunk in the middle of the night. I would love to help you. You can definitely call me and I'll get somebody, but I ain't going to be the one to wake up my 2-year-old and my 4-month-old and put them in the car to come get your drunk ass.
Right.
I will make sure Corporal whoever.
I was going to say, well, you're a gunny, so you can say, go send your...
And like I will be available for people, but there is like a threshold of like, hey, I'm not down for why we're doing PT at 06. The CDCs don't open up until 6:30. It's like so-and-so and so-and-so. All these people are affected by childcare. Can we shift it 30 minutes to 6:30? Like I'm now that person of like, why are we doing this? Or can we do it in the afternoon? Or can we do it sometime during work hours? But again, that's the struggle of somebody else going, well, you're a fucking Marine. Like you should figure it out. Like it's not.
I go back and forth. Like especially
it's hard.
As a Marine who gives a shit, like when you give it like you want to do right by the Marine Corps. You want to be that person. You want to make your chain of command happy. You want to be like, they can come to me. We have got that good relationship. Like how are the kids? Like you want that, But then when like your parent is like, like you said, I don't have time for the BS. Like, okay, I understand. Like you just start to reason with some of the things that don't really make sense logically. And so for me, it was such a hard pull. Like, I think what really, really did it for me was just, I had such a bad experience with my leadership. Like, I was like the PT person and like everybody knew I was like bodybuilding, for females, doing a lot of pull-ups and stuff like isn't as popular or as common. And so like I had built up a reputation that took me like 5 years to build up. And so I was like, cool, now that I'm gonna have a kid, I'm gonna have so much support because I just earned all the support from the past 5 years of grinding. And it's like, no, actually everything just flipped. Like the moment I told people I was pregnant, they're like, oh, so you probably don't want to get a PT or blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no, like I still want to do. Like there's some people, not everybody, there's some people who just automatically look at you different.
I don't
like,
want to get a PT.
You're broken.
I was like, I'm pregnant. And they're like, you found out yesterday. I'm like, yeah. I did.
Yeah. I mean, to some extent, like I don't want to be.
But you're also passionate about those things. And it's not like, I mean, I don't like to go out and run because, I start to sweat and I'm getting exhausted and I'm tired.
Yeah.
But that, that's a part of being in the Marine Corps and I will do it. That's fine. But you're passionate about it too.
I like working out on my own regimen. Yeah. I hate PT because they're dumbass Marine Corps like, let's do a pull-up ladder. I'm like, nah, let's just go hit a well-built and a well-crafted back day hypertrophy training, and I promise you that's way more effective than a pull-up pyramid. But whatever. Like, in your training with individuals, you have to go with their pace. You've got some like whatever, like leading the PT. And so I hate PT because when you become like experienced and skilled in training and actual like whatever, you realize how up the Marine Corps training regimen is. Yeah. And so I hate doing it. Like people, and that's something like one of my leadership people had said was like, you're so passionate about it. You're only here because you care about it. I'm like, nah, this is actually you don't even want to be training in the morning. What's better is to train later in the day when you've had more meals in your system, your body's woken up, you've had more water, you're more susceptible to tears, to like fracture, like you're more susceptible to injury in the morning, because people, what do? They roll out of bed, go to PT. And so it's like,
well, that's because that is what the mindset, that's what it's ingrained in you. Like that's what you do. You do.
And there's
boot camp, you do it
tradition of everybody's gotten up early to PT, like whatever. Like I get that. I'm a Marine. There's certain things you just have to do. But I think I definitely like just notice like people's waves and oh hey, like they stopped asking questions about how I was. Like we didn't bullshit much.
Yeah,
you know?
well, it's because it's like your burden. It's like the second that you find out, or the second that you tell somebody, it's like, great, you're on the books, but I can't use you. And it's like, okay, well, I didn't die, so I'm still here, and I can still do a job, and I'm still available. Like, I'm sorry that I can't sit duty. And it's like, well, you can still sit duty. It's like, well, I'm 8 months pregnant, and you want me to wear a duty belt with a pistol?
Yeah, I can't even wear pants.
Let me tell you what I'm not gonna do.
Yeah.
That. But you know, it's like you feel like you're a burden. And if you are somebody in the Marine Corps or in the military or anything who takes pride in your work, and you want to do well, and you want to succeed, and you want to be the go-to person, it really is a struggle of like, God, now I'm a piece, like mentally I'm a piece because I want this. Or when your kids get older, or you want to have multiple kids, and it's like, well, my priorities have shifted. I want to be an outstanding mom. I want to be available for my kids. I also want to be very successful in my career, and I don't want to be looked at like a piece of shit over here. But it's that,
and that's
weird
the thing too, though, is like you can be a mom and still have a successful career and make an impact. Like, I think it depends on your job, but like, okay, let's say like you're an admin, great. You can still be pregnant, you can still go to work, and you know, you're at a desk. So like physically it's not as demanding. You can still do a lot of things. You might have to use the restroom a little bit more, so whatever. But like if you're in infantry, it might be a little bit different. Like, all right, you're not carrying all the M240s on your back because of blah, 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 blah. You're in your third trimester. Like there's certain things, but
I mean, like, still when you're that admin person, it's like, oh, we have a FAP. Oh, we have a working party. Oh, we have to go out and do yard work. I guess we can't rely on PFC Wilcox because she's knocked up again. And it's like,
but you're not completely broken. You can do some things though, you know?
Well, I know that I'm not going to be out there pulling weeds in the front of a headquarters building if I'm like 6 months pregnant. Like I'm not, you know, those things are, but at the same time, the expectation of some people to be like, well, why wouldn't you be? Is like the part where I'm like, where's the common sense here? Like, yes.
Even if you're not in the military, why are you going to send a pregnant ass bitch out there to pull some weeds?
Yeah, like, whoa, what are we doing? Why would you tell her? I remember there was a girl, like the unit was shared, the duty was shared, and I was on duty one day, and I went out for like the flag detail or whatever, and there was a sergeant from the other unit that was standing duty. I shit you not, she was probably 7 or 8 months pregnant. And I looked at her and I was like, what, are you waiting for somebody? Like, we're just gonna do this flag detail real quick. Like, do you mind staying? And she's like, oh no, like I'm here for flag detail. And I was like, I'm sorry, who's your staff NCO? Like, what, are you on duty right now? And she's like, yeah, like I didn't know, and so they told me I had duty, and I'm
People
just
are so scared to speak up for themselves.
oh my God, because they don't want to be looked at like they're a piece of getting out of something, and it's like you have the right to say no. This is about you protecting your body, creating an environment for your baby that's free of stress, and that's never going to happen. You're always going to have a little bit of stress, regardless of if you're a stay-at-home mom, or you go to work somewhere else, or you have a different job. It doesn't matter. Or you work from home. You're always going to be exposed to some sort of stress or whatever. But people who are intentionally doing that just because they're like, well, you don't get out of it just because you're
when there's a pool of people to select from, you know what I mean? It's definitely different.
Yeah.
I mean, she could have wanted to be out there. Like, that's also
no, she didn't.
Okay.
She didn't, because I was like, did you volunteer for that? Like, I started, you know me, like, I'm like crying. I'm like, you can tell me, like, tell me, like, don't worry.
No, Gunny.
I won't tell them that you told me. And she's like, they're gonna know. And I'm like, I don't care. It's okay. You can't get repercussions. I will be there.
Yeah.
She's like, I don't know you.
Well, also, like, not to like sound like a weirdo, but like the Marine Corps, especially, baby's crying in the background. Like the Marine Corps is like, we really, really value our traditions and our looks and all that.
Yeah.
And so it's like, should you even have it? Like, whatever aside, is a pregnant person the best out there for optics anyway?
Yeah.
Like, they're in maternity camis, for one. Like,
They don't look uniform.
They don't look
uniform.
Yeah, like, we look like whales. Like, we're pregnant. We're like, we waddle. Like, they're not the best
I got
anyway.
promoted to gunny pregnant, and I swear I was up there like standing at attention, and I cringe at the video. I cringe because I'm out there, I'm looking, and I'm just like,
But it's actually so funny. Trying to stand up
I'm like
straight.
saluting, and I'm like, my brothers are pinning me, and I'm just like giving them a hug. In the video, you can see all of this of like the ass out hug because your belly is so
void
big.
belly, yeah.
I was just like, oh, that's so
Yeah.
gross. Why couldn't I have been promoted in like civvies?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, even if, like, there's so many different aspects of that, of why that was probably not the best idea. But even for something Marines are so hard pressed about, is like looks.
Looks.
Like, you want your best looking people out there. You want them like
The most shallow
fit.
branch, probably.
Yeah, like, we really do care about those things. Like,
There's a whole program.
Seriously.
MAP is a whole program that is for appearance. It's not even
Seriously.
anything else.
yeah,
Like,
we need to look good in uniform. That's part of the thing, you
Yeah.
know. And so that just blows my mind. But not everybody would have toxic leadership or toxic exposure.
Yeah.
Like, you might have a really positive thing. And I know too, like, on the guy side of the house, like, when Derek told his like chain of command that we were expecting, like, they also started treating him differently. And now I think it's been a couple years, but like parental leave, like the mother and the father or whatever, like, they both get the 84 days. And so Derek had told his command, like, oh, I plan on taking all 84 days. And they gave him so much for it. Like, well, back in my day, I only had 10 days. And he's like, I hate that for you. Or back in I missed 3 of my births. Like, I'm really
yeah, but
sorry.
are you happy that you did? Like,
Yeah.
does that make you warm and fuzzy that you did? You know,
Yeah.
you should be happy for the next like, I have
Right.
a friend that just retired, and he was like, no, I love that. I thought if I could go back
Yeah.
and they did that for us, like, I would love that.
Right.
Without any personal, like, oh, well, fuck you, I only got 21 days. It's like,
Yeah, well, I don't make the policies, so, you know, talk to the person who does it. It ain't me. But
guess what? Your job
I
is
break
to
this
enforce
benefit.
the policies. Like,
Right,
your job
right.
is to make sure that I can take those days. Like,
Right, and I understand, like, if you have something really important coming up or whatever, maybe like your unit doesn't want you to take all 84 days at once or like whatever, like, that's understandable.
I think there is something written in the order too that's like based on
Right.
not op tempo but unit requirements. Like, obviously if we
Yeah.
go to war tomorrow, you're not taking your 84
Exactly.
days of PTAD,
Right.
but they should be working with you to
Yeah.
plan around that.
Yeah, or
So-
if you're like in a, because like Derek, they do it by like certain phases. So for him, like, if you're in the phase that is meant for leave and like you don't have anything, like you're not working, like, or
Yeah.
you have no TADs or anything coming
it's like
up.
your white space.
Right,
Like,
right. Like, if you can afford it, like, it should be fine, you know. But yeah, he got so much like for it, and so many people like, you don't need to be there for the birth. It's not that big of a deal, or you don't need to be there for this thing. And so, like, it affects the men too. And I think men, like, some women,
some people want to be there to help their wives and welcome their child.
Yeah,
into the
and
world.
like
maybe you don't.
maybe they're
Brad, but,
excited
like,
that
some
they have a
people
kid
do.
on the way.
Yeah.
Like, doesn't mean the dad can't get excited.
Yeah.
And so, like, I think, like, there are some women who are terrible advocating for themselves, bless their hearts. But if you think that's bad, like, look at the men. Like, a lot of men, like, they don't know, like, anything when it comes to pregnancy and, like, stuff like that. And then I think there's an extra layer of things for, like, the guys in the military who are like, oh, no, I have to do my best. I have to do certain things. Like, I have to make my boss proud. I'm a man. Like, you know, all these things. And so they really don't advocate most of the time for certain things. And so it's both sides of the house, I guess, that get affected when you become parents. And then speaking of that, like, your relationship too,
Yeah.
like, when you become parents, we are 7 months into it, and 7 months might seem like a long time, but it's not a lot in the grand scheme of the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Like, it's a big transition, and I'm the type A where I want to try to plan everything, and we would go through scenarios of like contingency plans. Like, okay, well, if this happens and this happens, what are we doing? Like, I'm the type to do that. Like, what's it called when you're like wargaming? I forget. Like, if you like,
I'm like overanalyzing, overstimulated, over planning,
Yes.
anxiety.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm anxiety.
I forget what it's called, but basically, like, it looks like kind of like a board game almost. But you lay out like what the operation would look like. You put like the land, buildings, like whatever it might look like.
Oh, you're talking about like the sandbox.
Yeah, there's a name for it.
I don't know.
I forget.
I should know that.
I've been out for 2 months.
I wish,
so, you know.
I wish the guys from like left field would be like, It's called this.
Yeah, I forget. But basically, you're like war planning, and so like you've got like, okay, well, what if there's like a convoy over here and this like, and then just 3 people come out from over here. Like you basically practice and talk through random things that could pop up. Like you roll the dice and it's like, oh, well, 3, that means this building just got blown up. Now what are you doing? You need a medevac, or do you keep pushing forward, or do you retreat to bring your buddy back home? Like you go through all that. We did the same shit. Like we did the same thing as far as like, all right, she you, but we're here. What are we doing? Like we did like all of that. And so like you're never 100% prepared. You know,
No.
like there's things you're never going to think of, and you never know how you're going to feel. And once you start adding the emotions, and okay, now you're recovering, and now you're breastfeeding for the first time, or just the baby.
And it's different at different stages too. Like,
Right. And it's like people always say like, oh, you're out of the newborn stage, things must be so nice now. I'm like, no, she's cutting 2 teeth and she just hit a 6-month regression. She's up every 30 minutes. Like it's, I honestly miss the newborn because she slept all day.
Yeah.
You know, like
You're a
there's
potato.
yeah. It can be really, really hard on a relationship, and especially like for us, we don't have a lot of like support, like family support. So it's not like we can like drop off the kids with grandma and then go get a date night. Like we haven't had a date night by ourselves in 7 months because we don't have anyone to watch her. And
well, and it's about trusting somebody to watch your baby too.
right. And so you know, that puts a strain on things. And then, you know, when you're sleep deprived, or, you know, you're getting a lot of shit at work, and then like things at home are crazy because like the baby's sick and all these things are going on, so you didn't do the laundry, and so now the house is a mess and you're overstimulated. Like those things add up. Now you're snapping at each other because you're tired or whatever. So
it's also, I know I told you this before, but like Michelle Obama had an interview where she was talking to a couple of like women on this panel, and she was like, there was like 10 years where I hated my husband.
Yeah.
And it's like, because it turns it into a like a back and forth, like, well, how much did you do? And it's a competition now of like, well, I changed 3 diapers. What the have you done all day? Like, I just want to go shower. What do you mean you want me to take the baby? And it's like, if you don't have good communication, and it doesn't happen, it's like with the first baby, you're learning each other. You're learning how to parent, you know, the difference of what do I care about versus what does he care about? Why isn't he doing this the way I wanted? Why did you put the diaper on like that? Did you pull the little tabs? Now he's having 15 blowouts. Do you know how to put a diaper on? You know, and it's just like,
on top of the, you know, the crazy hormones you're going, because not only are you like, is your schedule and everything changed that way, but also you're a different person now. Like you're a parent. Like now you have to care for this thing, and you have to learn how to balance it all. You're working, you're doing everything else, or you got dogs. Like now you have so many other things. Like you have to rebalance everything to find like that happy, like, you know. And so, and don't worry, you might hear the babies, but they're with their dads.
There is somewhat supervision.
But it's just, and you know, there's no book that says this is how you do it with no headaches. This is how it's perfect. Like nothing's going to be perfect.
These are the instructions for how to get over this.
Yeah, and I think it really is normal to have growing pains and like to learn new things, because you're learning different things, and you have to learn each other. And okay, how do I get my gym time in? Or how do I do this? Okay, how do I get this in? Like you're going to have to learn it together. And so I think the biggest thing is just really, really try to give like your significant other grace. Like, okay, hey, today was really tough. Or I'm not like mad at you. I'm not yelling at you to yell at you. It's just, I'm really tired. The baby's been cluster feeding all day. Like my nipples are sore. I haven't showered in 2 days.
The communication piece and being able to articulate like how you're feeling and let them know that.
Right. The biggest thing for me is like, I am really like witty and like quick to like, oh, I know exactly how to hurt his feelings and shut this down right now. I'm really good at that, which might not be a good thing. But before I open my mouth, I just have to sit there and be like, okay, I'm not really mad about him for leaving his cup on the sink for 2 extra minutes. I'm really just so tired and I want to shower. Okay, now I'm ready to talk. Hey, sorry for being a but I just really want to go shower. Like, you know, I'm still learning. I used to be able to shower whenever I want. Now I have to plan
as long
my
as
showers.
I want, and do whatever I want. Like wash my hair, wash my everything, like shave everything. Like I used to be able to just do that whenever I want.
Now you have to plan it. I don't. There's no way I'm doing a hair wash, shave, and everything on one shower. Like
No way. Not unless he's here, like the baby's gone down for a nap or something. Like,
Right.
the stars have to align.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But just being open and vulnerable and like trying to put your feelings into words is really nice, because then the other person's more likely to be like, oh, okay, you know what? Like, I don't think you're a bad mom. I just think we have a lot going on, and I'm used to the house being so clean and you doing everything, and now, you know, you're taking care of another person.
Well,
So-
and like postpartum depression is a real thing, and I don't think I haven't experienced anything this time around, but when I had Mac, like it was, and you can't recognize it when you're in it, but it's a real thing. We could do a whole fucking conversation about that. But when your spouse doesn't understand that you're going through that on top of all of the regular shit with pregnancy or with postpartum, like it can be even more stressful because you can't articulate your thoughts and you don't know how to explain things.
Right, because it's the first time feeling it.
Yeah.
I was so task oriented, and I'm a list person, so I would like, all right, I need to do these 4 things today. Well, now I'm like, I had a baby, I'm like, all right, cool, I need to do these 4 things today, and it's like, I didn't get any of those 4 things done, and so I would feel so bad about myself, like, oh my god, I'm a person, I'm a wife, like, I wanted to meal prep this and this, I didn't get to do any of that, and so I had to talk to my therapist, and I was like, I just feel like I'm not accomplishing anything, I don't feel like I'm doing enough, I don't feel like I'm making enough difference, and now that I'm not working, I'm just in college, I'm like, I just feel like a piece of and it's like, well, you are doing tasks, but you don't really
They're just not on your list because they're on your normal everyday list. Like
or they don't feel
ongoing, you know, you're never checking those off. Those are just
right. And keeping a baby alive all day didn't feel like big enough of a task compared to, oh, I wanted to sweep and mop the whole floors and dust today. Like, it just didn't feel like different. Like being someone who always accomplishes things to being like, I kept the baby alive and I ate today. Like,
you know what? The house isn't on fire.
Right.
The dogs are fed. Like everybody's happy. Like everybody pooped today. Maybe not me, but maybe we'll get there. Like at least they did. You know?
Just being able to give yourself grace too, because I would be so mad at myself that I would take it out on him and just be mad that like he could go take out the trash and accomplish things that were normal to him. But I'm like, I would love to just be able to clean something. Like I would just I love organizing. I'm like, I would just love to do that, but I can't because this baby needs to be on me at all times, and I don't want to wrap up just so many different things. Like where it was really hard time just for me personally, finding my worth and my value, and I have to remind myself all the time, you're a mom now. You're not just a single person who has all the time to do all these things. Your days are different.
And if you're still in, you're not even just doing that, but you're also working. That's taking you away and taking hours. You know.
Yeah.
Sometimes at work, I'll sit there. I have a nicer command now than before, but. We'll be sitting around, and in my mind, I love the downtime. I love having adult conversations with people with not interrupted or not handing Cheez-Its somewhere, or not, whipping my boob out to feed a baby. But at the same time, I'll be sitting there and I'm like, okay, at the house, I could do this, I could do this, I could do this. And it's like, well, I can't do that until I get home from work, but I'm not going to be able to do that because then I have a toddler and a baby. There's no way.
I hated that being in, even no kids, when you're there waiting to get dismissed at the end of the day, you have no work, it's 2:00, and then everyone's like, well, you just gotta hang out until it's time to go, and I'm like, is it 2 hours of sitting and shooting the shit? That's fun, whatever, but when you have responsibilities, you're like, during this 2 hours, I could put the laundry away, I could do the dishes,
I could get my workout, I could go walk around the block, I could go do something.
You start caring more, or at least for me, I started caring more about the time that was getting wasted. When I was in the bricks and had no responsibilities, I didn't care. We're just gonna talk for 2 hours, I'm still getting paid, whatever.
We're good. We get off when we get off. You're just hanging out with the same people that you're at work with. It doesn't matter.
But when you have responsibilities,
I can't say my command that I'm with now, they're super, everything is common sense oriented. I love the people that I work. Yeah, I love the people that I work with. Everybody is very you have something you gotta take care of, don't worry, we got it. But when it's balls to the wall and when we're working, everybody is doing that too, and that's understood. Right. So when we have days of are we gonna wait around for 2 hours? It's no, one person will stay, I'll stay in the shop. You guys, the rest of you guys can head out. We'll see you tomorrow. And
that's awesome.
And it's wow.
That's
it's getting out. It's getting out of an abusive relationship that you don't understand. It's oh wow,
I go home now.
This. You don't need anything. Are you sure? Are you? Are you being serious?
It's a test.
Like, am I gonna leave and then you're gonna be like, wow, she actually left. Wow, what a piece of shit. Like, no, you're letting, it's just common sense. It's not.
You get trust issues for real being in. And I was actually talking to you about that, like when I found out that I was pregnant, because we were trying, and so I was really nervous. Like I was giving myself like anxiety attacks. I was like, wait, I just had a baby like 6 months ago. Like, what if all of a sudden, like, now I'm pregnant with this time, but my body just doesn't want to do it, and I'm gonna have like, my baby's gonna have 3 legs, and like, I just started like thinking of like the worst case scenarios, and like, oh my gosh, like I don't want to tell anybody I'm pregnant until like I give birth, because what if something happens? Like I just really just started like planning for the worst, and I think the Marine Corps kind of did that to me, because you always plan for the worst, because that's how you have to be, so that way you're never like caught off guard.
Yeah.
And so I start doing that with everything, and then I'm like, God, I'm so negative. But it's hard to like lean in and like enjoy the positive things of being like, oh my gosh, I'm pregnant, like, oh, it's so exciting, like this is
But
awesome.
those things aren't like negative. That's your mind going, oh, I'm planning for the worst case scenario.
Right.
But that's toxic.
Right, like you don't have to, I didn't have time to enjoy it. Like,
Yeah.
like we would talk like, oh my gosh, like 2 babies, like I'm so excited. And once we found out the gender, we were like, okay, this is what we want to name them, all that stuff. And then I was like, I don't want to talk about it, because like what happens?
You already got a name?
Yeah.
That's impressive.
We had names before we even knew.
Oh my God.
But like part of me doesn't allow me to enjoy the excitement and the positivity of being pregnant. And, like, this is awesome, like we went 3 under 3, like it's so awesome that we've been blessed with this, blah blah blah. I'm like, I can't talk about that, because watch this baby born with 3 legs, because of that's just how shit happens. And like I'm like, as the mom, you just take everything personally. Like I fucked up something, and now we have like our child's disabled or whatever. Like I can't stop thinking about those things. So I was like robbing myself of the joy, basically.
Yeah.
And like my therapist was like, this is very military-esque, not everything is like that. And especially like the past few years, I've had a crazy past few years. And so my mind is quick to jump to conclusions. And so she's just been like, no, like, if something like that pops up, we'll worry about it then. But right now, everything's great. Your baby's healthy, like, blah, blah, blah.
You're literally scaring yourself into the unknown of like, I do it too. Like I make shit up in my head, and I'm like, okay, well, if that happens, what would? Like,
Yep. Now I'm crying about my 3-legged son. That's not even for real.
I'm still wondering why why are you going to that? Like,
I don't know. Because I was just like everyone. You always hear everybody like make fun of, oh, you had a baby, like, and you're only 5 months postpartum, blah blah blah. Like, you can mess something up and all this. And so I'm like, oh my gosh, like what if my body does mess something up?
Yeah.
Or like, what if the first time it happened to be great, but now my body just doesn't know what to do? Like, just like always like freaking out, and like miscarriages, and like the first trimester is always like the scariest. And I've been going under
terrifying.
a lot of stress. Yeah, it's just a lot. And so that's just what is that, anxiety? I don't know. That's just
yes. Hi, I'm anxiety.
Yeah. Anxiety entered the chat.
I'll be staying with you. Actually, I'm moving in. You got a spare room, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of that too, basically, just with yourself, and then your partner's doing the same thing. And I know for Derek, like he was telling me, like Esme needs me so much. Like she needs me to nurse her, and like it's mom, it's comfort, and she hasn't opened up completely like to dad yet. She'll like hang out with him if she can still see me, and so he doesn't feel like he's contributing a lot. He doesn't feel like, oh, she doesn't love me yet. And then so there's a lot that goes on his side of the house too that I don't understand, because it's like I would love for her to not want me for an hour. Like you
like I want her to want me, but I want her to want you too.
Yeah, exactly. And so it's like I don't understand his perspective, but he goes through stuff too. So okay.
I thought they were.
Okay. But and so no, you just have to remember and like tell yourself, because I have to constantly tell myself, even now, like you're going through a lot, he's going through a lot, and then you guys are going through a lot together. And having no support, even if you have support, then you have to navigate, all right, what am I okay with my in-laws doing? What am I okay with my parents doing? What boundaries are going to set? What are we going to do? Like, there's so many things you have to talk about and experience, and it just becomes a lot. And it's normal. It's so much normal. I think we see on social media, everybody has a perfect life, and your kids are always clean. They've got the cute outfits on. Like,
people post the highest highs.
Yeah, they're eating organic, home cooked meals. Blah blah blah. Nothing processed. Like, okay, like there's some days like that, whatever. But also, I'm not afraid to give my kids some Cheez-Its, because we gotta go. Like,
Oh man, another
snack today.
friend of mine. We were like, I was talking to her, and she's like, "Yes, we survive on snacks." I'm like, "Okay, good, thank you, because I need to."
Yeah.
Like same,
Yeah.
It's like what did your kid eat today? Some ketchup and some Cheez-Its and like a piece of a chicken nugget. And you know what? They're alive. I'm gonna give him mac and cheese for dinner because I know he's gonna eat it.
Yeah.
And we're gonna go to bed and we're gonna do it all again tomorrow. And hopefully, maybe tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like Mac just asked for cucumbers the other day. I'm like, oh. Cucumber? Honey. Yes.
Yeah.
Cucumbers and some ranch. Big sauce guy. Like
Nice.
cucumbers and some ranch, boy, let me hook you up.
Yeah.
Like, but when you're surviving, you're surviving. And
Right.
so, I mean, there's a lot. You never learn it all. But
Yeah, and I think
you figure
that's
it
what I
out,
love about
like-
being able to just stay at home and go to college is because I've got more time to, like, I meal prep for her, so that way I don't have to do it every day, because fuck that. But we have like these little like jars, so you can scoop them out. All you have to do is just throw it in the microwave for like 10 seconds. It's like so easy. But like, not everybody's in a position to do that.
Yeah.
And so like, you have to remind yourself, whatever, like, what's her name? I forget, but there's like this really famous influencer. She like home makes everything. Like, you want ketchup, we're gonna home make our own ketchup.
Yeah.
Like, she does all that. And I remember seeing stuff like that, I'm like, I'm a shitty parent because
look at her doing that so easy.
Right, but also she makes all of her money from social media and she's at home all day. So it's
Yeah.
like, you just have to take those things into consideration. Like, I might meal prep for my kid, but that's because that's my job. Like, I don't go to work because that's my job. So
I think like one of my like toxic traits is I see videos like that and I automatically assume that it's easy. I'm like, oh, look how easy it is for her. But she's probably there and she's probably had like the day and she has to put a smile on for her
Yeah.
page and be like, oh, this is how I make ketchup. When really in the background she's like,
yeah, seriously. Yeah, it really is real. Like,
And
yeah.
it's just like, okay, because it's not easy, but that's like Instagram and all that is like not
fake.
real.
Yeah,
Like,
it's so fake.
it's crazy. But
Yeah, I remember. What was I gonna say? Derek was talking to like one of his people in his chain of command, and was like talking about how because we're in the process of him becoming like my VA caregiver, and basically like just like with my PTSD and like stuff like that, like going out in public's really hard, and like I had an issue with driving for a little bit, and Derek was letting his chain of command know, because like, hey, I'm gonna have to go to like an appointment at some point with the VA and do like an interview or whatever. I had to do like a PTSD clinic and all that, and so he had to watch Esme, and then he's telling his boss all this because we believe over communicate, so that way
Yes.
they know the whole picture, blah
Yes.
blah blah. And his boss was like, your wife doesn't have PTSD, like blah blah blah. Meanwhile, Derek is like, he's turning in like my diagnostic.
oh, so like I don't have to tell you any of this information.
Right.
I'm telling you so that you understand.
Well, what he had said was, oh, well, I see her on social media, like, she does, I'm telling you. And I'm like, okay, back it up there, buddy. You realize I'll batch record episodes, so what you're seeing today, I filmed a month ago. Also, I'm fake smiling, or I made that in the evening when Derek was at home with the baby. Like, there's so many things you just don't see, and like, it's just, you never know what's actually going on behind
It's
closed
free
doors.
99 to mind your own business.
Yeah,
It's free.
It's just, don't judge other people and think that you're doing things wrong, because like, I feel like we all have so much in common.
It's unrealistic.
Yeah, like we have so much in common, and I promise you, like the neighbors next door who smile at you and blah blah blah, they're probably arguing or like something like silly, like, you know what I mean? Like,
Nobody's perfect.
no, literally nobody. So just keep that in mind, like with your relationships too. I think that's the biggest thing. Those are the biggest things that change yourself, your relationship, work-life
Priorities,
balance. Yeah. I think it's normal because you are a different person, like you're a mom now, like you're picking up extra things. And so,
I'll be excited when we do this like a few months from now and you've had like a pretty good chunk of time where you're out of the Marine Corps and like away from the Marine Corps. I want to
Yeah.
know, like, I'm excited for your future, what's going on with you and how the difference of not being in the Marine
I'm just
Corps.
going to be so happy. No, I'm just kidding.
It's gonna be glowing.
No, like, I made you some homemade bread.
No, because that's a whole ass transition. You're having like multiple life events. You have a
Yeah.
whole transition out of the Marine Corps, which some people just doing it when they're single, that
Right.
it's a hard transition. So
Yeah.
like, I hope that it's everything that you ever hope for, but
Yeah.
I'm excited for as time goes to see what that looks like.
It's definitely
for you.
hard transitioning. And one thing too is like, I'm so worried about making like friends. Like when we eventually move back to Arkansas, like it's not a military area at all. And so I'm like, and they're very like Southern. And so I'm like, I'm not really Southern, and the military has made me more of like a calloused like woman, and I'm very like abrasive. I'm very like type A, where I'm like, hey, I might throw a couple cuss words around, like whatever. But at the same time, I'm not trying to give my kids fried breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Yeah.
Right? And so it's going to be a really weird period of trying to make friends there. Just different.
I think. I mean, as long as you're open, I don't know. I feel like.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna be open-minded.
I feel like you could, because I feel like most like your egg, like the chickens and the eggs and all that. You're like homesteady and I think you'll be. Good.
But down there, they're like, let's go talk to Mom and Pa about what we're gonna do for Sunday dinner, like stuff like that. I'm like, can you just say every now and then? Like, can you just chill?
No.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, can we just relax? Like. I don't know, and like nobody down there believes in gyms, so like it's just gonna be really different. And I'm like, most people in general aren't as open and like just blunt, and so I think the Marine Corps has really made me blunt and really made me like, suck it up. You know what I mean? Like sometimes I have to catch myself, because I'll say that to Derek. I'm like, we don't have time for feelings. Like we gotta go in 10 minutes. So this gotta get done. This gotta get done. This gotta get done.
Grab this, grab that, grab that. We don't have time. I'll do it on the way.
Yeah.
Like I have all of my makeup. I have double makeup. I have makeup that is in the house and I have makeup that's in the car. Because now I've gotten to the point where I'm like, okay, we'll do it on the way. Like I don't care. We're gonna do it on the way.
Right. And so, but yeah, I mean, we'll have to see how that goes. I'm sure. I'm gonna try to, do my best, stay open-minded, but I'm just anticipating. Yeah. But anyway, that's pretty much it for today. Thanks for hanging out with us. Let us know if you have any more questions or anything else. Feel free to check us out on Spotify. We have our podcast episodes up there now, because not everybody has time to hop here on YouTube and watch our video. But feel free, you can listen to it. It's the same exact thing over there. And I do want to apologize again. I'm recovering from a cold, so I sound super nasally and like disgusting. But someone said the other day I sound like Miley Cyrus, and I was like, oh, okay.
Is that a knock or is that a compliment?
Because she has like a really raspy voice and all that, so I'm like, whatever.
That's nice. But maybe we can start your singing career too.
Yeah. But thanks for hanging out with us, guys. Be sure to shoot us any questions or any episode ideas you might have on our Instagram. Just
or
DM
like
us.
stuff that you want us to talk about. Like if we covered something, you're like, hey, this really impacted me, or I want to know more of what you guys think about that, then hit us up.
Right. All right. Bye.
Bye.
As a reminder, this podcast is not endorsed by the DoD, and everything talked about here is just our personal experiences and opinions.
We are also not medical professionals.